Elite destinies, James and Amy. The Seoul skyline shimmered under a fading golden sunset, skyscrapers catching the last rays of the day. Among them stood Starlight International Academy, a fortress of luxury and privilege, where the children of the elite were groomed not just to excel academically, but to command influence. Its marble halls gleamed, and every student moved with the quiet confidence of wealth and expectation. Amy Lee walked through those halls like she belonged to the world, though in truth, she often felt trapped by it. Long black hair curled softly at the front framed her flawless face, while her elite school uniform accentuated her elegance. Whispers followed her everywhere she went. The perfect Korean girl, untouchable, the crown jewel of Starlight Academy. But Amy was tired of perfection, of the expectations her mother, Madame Haejin Lee, demanded. A woman of incredible beauty and influence, Madame Lee had built her empire from sheer ambition, and she expected Amy to follow in her footsteps. Amy loved her mother, but she longed to make her own choices, even if that meant breaking the invisible chains of elite society. The arrival of James Okoro changed everything. Handsome, poised, confident, he was a scholarship student from Nigeria, sent through the support of his wealthy uncle. James drove a sleek black Lamborghini onto campus the first day, the engine's roar echoing like a challenge to the polished marble of Starlight's halls. His deep brown eyes scanned the students with a quiet intelligence, immediately making him the center of attention. Their first encounter was cinematic. Amy had been walking to her literature class when the wind of the Lamborghini's sudden stop sent her carefully held papers tumbling across the marble floor. She knelt to gather them, unaware of the eyes that were already watching her. "Need some help?" James asked smoothly, a playful edge in his tone. Amy looked up, startled, and her gaze met his. There was something magnetic about him, not just his appearance, but the confidence that made her pulse quicken. I've got it," she stammered, cheeks flushing. "Suit yourself," he said with a small, knowing smile before walking away. From that moment, the halls of Starlight Academy never felt the same. Every glance, every group project, every whispered word carried tension. Elite students watched with envy and disdain. Why is she looking at him like that? Why is he allowed to be here? James, too, felt it. The subtle judgments, the invisible walls of privilege he had to break through. But there was something about Amy that drew him in, something beyond beauty or status. She was curious, sharp, and bold in ways few dared to be in this elite world. It started with group assignments in the library. Amy and James found themselves paired together repeatedly. At first, it was professional. They discussed literature and shared notes. But the air between them was charged. In the quiet glow of the library, their hands brushed and a spark ignited. They laughed over misinterpreted poems, shared stories of distant lands, and confided little secrets. Amy learned about James's life in Nigeria, the protective uncle, the pressures of scholarship. James discovered Amy's inner rebellion, her dreams that stretched beyond Seoul's gilded cage. It wasn't long before their bond became impossible to ignore. In private moments, James would drive her on secret routes through Seoul in his Lamborghini, the city lights reflecting in her eyes, their laughter mingling with the roar of the engine. Every stolen glance, every fleeting touch, was a declaration of a love that dared to challenge the elite expectations surrounding them. The threat emerges. Not everyone approved. Amy's mother noticed the growing closeness and saw it as a threat to her carefully curated plans. She made one discreet call to the school administration, a scholarship review for James. James sensed the tension immediately. Whispers spread through the student body, rumors fueled by jealousy and privilege. Why is he allowed to sit with Amy? Doesn't he know his place? Yet, amidst the drama, Amy and James remained defiant, meeting in secret, sharing stolen moments of laughter, books, and dreams. Even elite students with hidden agendas tried to interfere. The popular duo of Min-jae and So-yeon, jealous of Amy's attention to James, orchestrated rumors and subtle sabotage. A misplaced assignment, a manipulated email, a whispered lie in the hallway. They tested the couple relentlessly. Luxury, power, and drama. Outside school, their lives mirrored the elite tension within. Amy's mother hosted galas with private jets and luxury yachts. Every event was a display of power. James, guided by his uncle, had access to private planes, exotic supercars, and the influence of a global network. One evening, Amy attended a charity gala with her mother. She slipped away to meet James in the shadowed parking lot, the engines of his Lamborghini humming like a promise. They drove to the outskirts of Seoul, where the city lights melted into the horizon, and for a few hours they were free from expectation, from whispers, from the world. But the outside world had its own plans. Emails leaked, revealing the bribery attempts by Madam Lee to remove James. School administrators froze as the scandal unfolded. Elite students gasped, and families whispered behind closed doors. Amy and James were caught in the eye of a storm that tested loyalty, courage, and love itself. The conspiracy unfolds. It wasn't just school politics. James's uncle had motives beyond scholarship. Business rivalries in Nigeria intersected with Madam Lee's global empire. A plan was uncovered, one that could endanger James' family and challenge Amy's mother's influence. Amy, for the first time, stepped beyond the role her mother had scripted. She confronted her mother in the lavish Lee residence, the walls adorned with priceless art, chandeliers sparkling like captured stars. "I choose him," Amy said, voice steady, yet trembling with emotion. "Not your empire, not your plans. I choose love." Madame Lee's eyes, cold and calculating, softened slightly. "Then you will have to fight for it," she said, a subtle smile betraying the respect she had for her daughter's courage. Climactic confrontation. The final confrontation happened at Starlight Academy's graduation gala, held on a private jet chartered for elite families. The hall shimmered with crystal, and the night air smelled of expensive perfume and polished wood. James and Amy stood together as emails revealing bribery, manipulation, and hidden family agendas flashed across screens. Elite parents gasped. Students whispered. The truth was out, and nothing could be hidden anymore. Tension peaked as Amy's mother and James's uncle locked eyes. Power, money, and influence collided, but neither could erase the undeniable bond between Amy and James. In the end, love triumphed. James remained at Starlight, his scholarship secured by the truth. Amy chose him over privilege, over expectation. Together, they stepped out into the night, Lamborghini waiting, engines roaring, city lights reflecting their victory. Epilogue. Destiny and forever. Months later, they flew over Seoul in James's private jet, the city sprawling below like a glittering canvas. Amy leaned against him, hair curled perfectly in the wind, her eyes sparkling. "We did it," she whispered. "No." James corrected, smiling. "We chose it. Together." From the elite halls of Starlight to the skies above Seoul, destiny had carved a path of love, luxury, and courage. And in the heart of two worlds, Korean elegance and Nigerian power, their story had just begun.